feel like I'm watching the microwave. I'm waiting for it to go to 4:30. We're going to go ahead and get started. Council has been in session since 2 o'clock this afternoon, but thank you for joining us for regular session. The first thing we're going to do is announce some action that we took earlier this afternoon on executive council and some of the regular session items. I see some staff here who had some items for this evening. Some of those were acted on. Council did take action on item 4B to approve as presented related to the health center loan. Council took action on item 4C to approve as presented regarding Legendary Waters' loan. And council took action on item 4D to approve supplemental childcare insurance renewal as presented. Council also took action on item 8, minutes from July 7th, 12th, and 22nd with changes if needed. Council took action on item 13, you see Alyssa back there, relating to the Newman's own grant application and authorization to apply. Council took action on item 16, approval to apply for the White Nose Syndrome USFWS funding opportunity. Ashley's, thank you. Council took action on item 17 to approve the contractor selection for the elder apartments from Borton Construction for $8,750,000. Council took action on item 18 regarding the bid selection for building 2 of transportation, Northwest Builders, $722,500. Council took action on item 19 to accept the treasurer's balance sheet for June 2025. So those items will not be addressed anymore this evening since we took action on those. But some of our staff have other items still. We are going to move right into item 7 on our agenda tonight, community comments. We will accept elders to come forward before anyone, if there are any elders who would like to provide comments to the council this evening. Good evening. Could you tell us your name? I mean, you know Gretchen.
I am Gretchen's oldest sister, Diane.
Hi, Diana.
Mara Morrison's oldest daughter.
Okay. Welcome.
Okay, what I want to know about is the water bill. Why does everybody have to pay $71.05 for water? At the elderly, everybody has to pay $71.05. That's over $700 a month and 50,000 gallons of water. Who's going to use that over there? I'd like to see my meter. Well, how you calculate the $71.05. And if you go over 5,000 gallons, it's whatever else. But
tell them when you fill out your
oh yeah, because there's washer and dryer, but you have to pay for them. And there's not washer and dryer in the apartment, so what's with all the water? And it's showers. I don't know about the other apartments, but I have a shower, which takes 5 minutes to take. You know, I'm just...
So the biggest concern is that she wants to ensure that
Can you switch the button so as it is recorded?
the biggest concern is that my sister wants to ensure that people are treated fairly and that they're not overcharged for water, and wants to know exactly what type of system is in place that's accounting for the amount that's being charged to the elders or other people within the community. Anybody. So she wants to know that
and
process.
I thought we were supposed to have free water.
Can you clarify that this is a housing rental you're referencing?
Yes.
Which elderly apartment? Or elderly apartments? Like at the Gurnaville or the new today, Diana, but we can definitely get some information.
Well, I just
and
want to
share
know,
it.
I was just wondering if you're charging everybody on the res or whoever has the water line, 7105, isn't that a lot of money a month?
I can't speak to that. I pay 7105 just like you, so yes.
Well, see,
And,
everybody does.
yeah,
Where's the money go? Where is the money? Who pays the bill?
so the question is not only the cost specifically to that space, but she's thinking about the community-wide, and then also the accounting for it, how does that process go? She'd like to see a clear process and understanding of that. But most importantly, is the 7105, if it's justified, what does it cover? What is it doing to help facilitate water for our community? How is it being used is the question. And you indicated that you don't have the answer now. We'd like to know when we will get the answer, and we'd like to have it presented during the community concern session so our public can be notified of the same information that's being shared right now. So the follow-up is there.
I can't make that guarantee for you this evening, but 7105 is to clarify for water and sewer. It's not just for water. So it is for water and sewer. And every resident pays.
Again, the concern is that she's one person. She's saying, I live in this space. I'm getting, everybody's being charged the same rate, which doesn't make sense. Because in other spaces, you would have water meters and things to be able to tell when somebody's using how much. So accountability to the system that's being used is what she's looking for. Whether you'll have that in 2 weeks or not, we'd like to know what time frame will be utilized and what the process will be to get the information back to the public.
We don't have that answer for you tonight. I apologize. We're not prepared to have that discussion.
No, we don't have that tonight, but we're asking you, when do you think you will have that ready for the public? 3 months, or do we come back and ask you? How will we know what the response will be?
Somebody can get back to Diana about her question related to size of household and water and sewer expenses and what that pays for.
Now I have one more question. Why isn't there absentee voting? I'd like to know.
The current constitution doesn't allow for absentee voting. Why? I can't. I don't know that anyone can speak to that right now.
Well, because there's so many people that live on the reservation, but there's many more people that live off the reservation that would like to have a little say in some of the situations.
Yeah, I think there's many people that agree with you.
That's what I'm talking about. Why can't there? Okay.
So my sister is asking you not, she's has wondering right now, but most importantly, she's asking leadership or direction to see how to. You mentioned that other people want that also. So this means that this was brought up before. How can it be addressed for the public to maybe look at that as an opportunity for regular tribal members living outside the boundaries of the reservation, as an opportunity to cast vote on selecting council members, obviously, because they have certain beliefs or whatever it might be on who might best fit a vote.
That absentee voting would have to be a constitutional change, so it can be referred to the Constitution Committee.
And we have a constitution committee, okay. And then in order to find out who's on the constitution committee, where does she go for that?
We have that information available at tribal administration.
Okay.
We're aware of the absentee voting as a topic for the Constitution Committee. You don't need to make that referral. It's just affirming to hear in community comment that the community still has that as a idea or topic.
Okay, so how do we ensure that the committee is engaging in topics such as this and moving forward? If the community wants to be involved, how do we be present at these meetings that involve constitutional
inform public when those meetings are held, just like every other committee notices.
Okay, all right, good. Any other elders? I'm a little older than you, so I'll go first there. Yeah, so would you
Thank you, Diana. Thank you. You can bring your concerns to us anytime. It doesn't have to just be at council meetings.
Gotcha. I will do that. I kind of like having a lot.
Just shared with you my name, my plan, where I'm from. As you know, I've been at council meetings previously, and I was at the last council meeting. I noticed that there was not some members here. And I wanted to bring that up first and foremost because I feel like it's very important for community members to know where our officials are at if they're not able to be here for council meetings, because we're relying on them to ensure that that continuity of care and leadership is adhered to. So I would suggest or hope that in the future that we could have something that would alert community members that, they just can't be here for a personal reason, or they're at a training or something like that, because I think it would be helpful, and it also shows accountability across the board, just like it would be for a tribal employee or somebody else that is required to serve a certain purpose or duty amongst our people. So that's one thing that I would suggest as a opportunity for community members to be able to know what's going on and show accountability on the leadership side of things. Last time I was here, I expressed a lot of concern, and Nicole, you weren't able to be here because I believe you have things that you have to attend to. So I wanted to be able to express some things to you directly, because it was you who made promises to me and my son. Promises that you would follow up on emails. Promises that if we sent you emails with our concerns regarding land, regarding employment situations or lack of being able to get employed within the band for my son Christopher, as you know, 17 applications, no job opportunities. He informed you that he was informed by HR that he had a felony. He produced the paperwork showing that he didn't have a felony. He brought this to tribal leadership on 3 occasions that I can recall, but I could go into the minutes and find out exactly. But I think that's a leadership role that they need to take on. I think with what he's trying to say and what I'm saying is that we have a problem within our Human Resources Department, wherever it is. I don't know. I believe it has to do with administration, along with other things that are going on in there. And I do believe that there's bias and prejudice that occurs when having selection. I also have heard recently that we had a census. And in this census, it said that we had, I think 400 tribal members actually participated. And out of that, there was this theory or this concept that that we had done very well by hiring tribal membership for jobs. That information will be very skewed, and it is in the plan that was given to the public by you, Nicole, and leadership this year for the FY25 tribal yearly consult, or whatever you call it, I'm not sure. But in it says that, and I know it not to be true. I think that our people should know exactly who sits in seats amongst the band. I know clearly that administrative roles are being taken over by non-native, non-tribal members, but tribal member preference is my biggest concern. And how I have a question about it in that, what is the process that our Human Resources Department is taking to ensure that it is adhered to? There's some things that I've been listening to from different people in key leadership roles, even about myself, commentary about what I would be best at. Maybe I shouldn't apply for this because I'm better suited over here doing direct care. And I often have to wonder how we're going to support people's hopes and dreams when other people who don't really know us seem to think that they understand where somebody should be within the tribal system as far as working. But again, my biggest concern is having not really adhering to the tribal member preference. Also, putting people, non-natives, in key positions amongst our community, not only in administration, but at LW. LW, I'm very, very concerned about all the turnover there. Whether they're being pushed out or fired, there's a problem. Same with administration. There's a problem. You're creating a culture. You're allowing a culture, tribal council, you're allowing a culture to occur that says that it is okay to remove your membership from key seats or community members that have been there for years and you're disrespecting people, and it's not okay. That doesn't adhere to our values, our ethics, or our teachings. And as leadership, I'm sure you're privy to the information because you're sitting in key roles and you're going to have that information. I, as a community member, can hear information just from other community members. I understand that maybe there's something that I don't know that's going on within people who are working for the tribe, but to me, that many people, letting that many people go, pushing people out, people not wanting to work for our community, that tells me we have a problem with how we're working with our people. I would strongly suggest that you partner with some other tribes that are actually practicing lateral goodness within their communities. I wonder how they're able to sustain their membership in their seats, how they're able to grow their membership, and I think that's something that Redcliffe should really look at doing. I personally decided that I had to leave my position for many reasons, but one was, I wouldn't say fear, I would say more the state of the culture within the tribe, and I no longer wanted to be part of that story. I found it very difficult to do things that I felt would be necessary to grow a program because I wasn't allowed in different spaces, or I didn't have opportunity to sit in different spaces to make it grow, and I do hope that it will grow now, and it might have just been because it was me, I don't know. But that was my feeling of things. I've been to council multiple occasions about the community concerns component that I have. Many people come up here and they share their stories with you, and it takes a lot of courage. Another one of our teachings. I feel that we're dismissed when we come up here because, again, I hear that there's no process. Yet, when I sat and I listened to the individuals that were running for tribal council, I heard Chairwoman Boyd say that we had a process from beginning to end to where people's concerns were addressed and always addressed, yet mine continued to go on unaddressed way back to the point when I was fired from Rebecca Benton and I brought concerns to Nicole. And then I followed the process to be able to go before tribal leadership in executive session. I brought it up to Dave Cran. I said, Dave, I really want to speak to you all in executive session. I told you why I had information that I wanted to share, yet I still wait here today for that opportunity. Again, I've said I've been here multiple times as my son has followed your protocol and you still have not responded. I'd like to know why.
We're not prepared to answer all of your claims.
Nicole, you told Christopher to send you the email and you would respond. It was done. This is months ago. It is not a claim. It's a fact. It's in the minutes, and the email never came through. Same problem. It's the truth. And I'd like to see, well, I'll have them push the email forward again to the new council members with the date. And I'd like to see it respond. Again, our teachings that we're governed by, you're not respecting people. I don't appreciate it. I want my son responded to. It's not okay. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You're being dismissive right now. That's not okay.
We don't have answers for you, Gokee.
I know you don't have answers. It's the same as
continued personal attacks. It's okay. I have an obligation to your response. I have an obligation to Chris, and that's not, you're not here to be his representative.
Okay, so do you have obligations to my questions, which I've never gotten responses to? Do you have obligations to?
I'm not sure, Gretchen, which one you're referencing, so we'd have to have other.
Because none of them have been responded to.
I'm not sure.
Not one of them have been responded to.
Referencing.
So as much as you take time up there typing and writing things down, maybe one time you should follow up. Just one time. On one topic, because I do have many things to say. Again, it's not appreciated. Now I'm going to go to, you indicated tonight that you went over several different things, that the tribal council had moved forward with the health center's loan. I'm not sure what that's about. Legendary Water's loan, I'm not sure what that's about, but that does tell me that there's some financial loans going on, I would say, and I think that the public should know about that, exactly what's going on and why we need loans. You indicated that you proceeded with number 13. You indicated that you proceeded with number 16. You indicated that you proceeded with number 17. You indicated that you proceeded with number 18. You indicated that you proceeded with number 19, which is the treasurer's balance sheet for June 2025. Yet this was never shared with your public. But yet it was proceeded with, and this has been a problem that I've noticed, is that things that are supposed to be done in regular session are done in executive session. This is for your people. I'm asking that you keep to what the agenda says and that we get privy to the information that you're sharing here. Whether we're sitting here or online, we should be able to hear what's going on here with our people. And that's been going on for a little while. I'm also concerned about the homeless population. I'm asking tribal leadership to put a plan into place for our homeless population. That they have something in place besides tents, that they have a place to go to, and that there is real attention put in place for housing our people until they can get their own homes, or if they can be housed in a different way. I know that there's a lot of complexity to these things, but I think that it can be worked on. We have a lot of intelligent people in our tribal community, and I think that a plan can be put in place to help support them, along with our people who struggle with substance abuse. I would like to, again, focus on that, and that more presence is put in that area, so that we can house our own people who are having difficulty with substance abuse issues. I think that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Hello? I've been going to a neighborhood union over in Washburn. It sounds like there's just a brief something about the towers, cell towers being a public utility and private lease, having some kind of control over that. There was ice. Somebody took from, they were drinking and driving in here, and they took them from Ironworks. So there was a small group keeping an eye on that. And b.Habitat. Also, I was down volunteering at the Point to La Point, and there wasn't any, the clinic hadn't sponsored anybody publicly. So I was mildly confused about that. Also, it was also NPR had been cut, and I don't know if I said this in community concerns, if the tribe could sponsor them somehow, NPR locally, like 909, and I guess there's another radio station that's local is 97.7. the neighborhood union had something about, $100, like 100 people, and this goes into like a subsidies for things that the union members or whatever it is, can, I guess it's like $10,000 a month, but you have to have a 501c3 designation or something like that, and then, so it's only subsidies for transportation, housing, and something else. And I was wondering if we could do something like that, maybe through the general assistance or something like that, but I think that is, oh, well, with utilities, I heard something about when I was on the utilities committee, and way over my head, that there was like, it looked like negotiations with military personnel about something about tests, and, you know, you get $10,000 fine, so they're dealing with a lot of high, utilities to save more lives than the healthcare system. Clean water and things like that, $71, I think it is, just to meet the base, to make it self-sustaining. So, I'm not exactly sure where any of the other money, but I know it was like pretty technical stuff. Other than that, I think that's all I have. Thanks.
Charlie, I could help you with that one question, the water part, when I was on the commission with you.
Yeah.
What that was is the IHS telling us about mandates with EPA to keep our water safe and clean. You know, we were talking about that.
Not that it had happened, or there was a period without taking tests.
It didn't happen. That's when Ernie, he's the one that does all the testing. Ernie was amplifying, you know, how the process was going, and when you go to a certain level, EPA will step in, and they could cause a citation if any reservation or municipality that falls under IHS provisions. That was just a situational awareness about how it was going.
Oh, all right. Thanks.
That's when you see the guys in the uniform and who they were, remember?
Yeah. I remember. Thanks, I appreciate that. Okay.
Is there anyone else that would like to provide community comment? Yeah, come to the microphone.
I would to know if
Can you push the button, please?
I would just like to know if we could find out maybe monthly how our water is actually doing here, when they're going to be flushing lines. I just noticed in the last couple months, our water is fizzy, bubbly at the top, really disgusting, tasting, smelling. And I think for the community-wise, we paid so much money into it. Isn't there a way to find out on a regular basis how our water's doing? They are not doing it. I look for the community boards everywhere for them, and I just want them. I want to know the quality of their water. I've been going out and getting my water from Washburn and Raspberry, because I do, because I don't think that we're informed enough about our water. And that's all I want to know, is the quality of water, and when they're cleaning it. They do it regular, we just don't know when, but the other day, I knew they did it like a couple weeks ago, because the water just went fizzy and spurt, blows up the line. I don't know, but that's what I was just hoping that maybe the community council could consider that. I hear it from a lot of different people, so I would like to know the quality of our water on a regular basis, if we need to be concerned at all. Our lakes are usually shut down sometimes a year and they're not getting tested regular, or are they as well? Our swimming holes for our children are important, and I want to know that they're not getting diseases or whatever. And so if Washburn's closed right now and Ashland's closed, I just assume we're closed, but we don't get those tests. And I just would like to see, I don't know how much they are.
So we do surface water sampling here at 18 sites in Redcliffe monthly.
Okay.
Our staff actually just went up today to do their first round for the month of August. They'll be out again tomorrow and then Wednesday. Our sites are on Chicago Creek, Red Cliff Creek, we do the marina down here by the casino, Clayton Creek, which is a little creek that kind of runs by the walking path by Heidi's, Sand River, Raspberry River, and Sucker Creek and Frog Creek are the water bodies that we do for surface water sampling. We also have 3 continuous water monitoring stations deployed in 3 different locations. One at the marina here, one at Sand Bay Marina, and then another one in Chicago Creek right now that take snapshots every 15 minutes of what's going on. Yeah. So we have information at environmental we want to know more about.
So is it something that can be brought to the community a little bit more often, or does it need
If like that kind of outreach is, yeah, I can definitely bring that up to the water program and like maybe a newsletter or something to let folks know about what's going on. But we do put advisories out if E. coli does pop at areas where we have high recreation. And we haven't had an E. coli process here yet.
We also have a homeless population that I'd like to talk about that's living in, now they call it Hobo Park, over in the walkway. I went to law enforcement and told them that there's actually a car parking in there, and just looked at me like, instead of getting in her car and going over there and making sure that car's not there, because that is our walkway. That's where my kids walk daily, where everybody else walks. She just looked at me and rolled her eyes, and I'm not okay with that. We all know that's what we're seeing now, and we need to address it. We really do. We need to address it somewhere, somehow, but we still need to address it. Those are walkways for everybody to walk through, to work, to this, to that. And a car shouldn't be parked right in the middle of it. And it's a silver one. I don't know whose it is. On any given time, probably after 5:30 in the day, it sits there. So my kids stop going there. I go and put one and I go around and the waterway just to safety wise. But nothing's ever happened, nothing anything, but I have to say something too. We've had a major drug dealer in our community for a while, JD, right across from Michelle's house. And I want to know how can everybody just keep turning their head and not doing anything about it? So this last week, he took his trailer in the middle of the night, and now it's at Michelle Bassin's house, where the rest of them are at. They're either at Hobo Park or Michelle Bassin's. I want to know as a community what we're going to do about it. So and I witnessed this.
What you guys are going to do about that?
And I'm concerned about it. It's time. It's time. So I tell people right out, I know for a fact, he is either hired by Jess or this department or Bakersfield County has a paid informant. Why is he still here? He is dealing in our community and still allowed to do so. And it's hard for me to do this because that is my niece's big daddy, but at the same time, it's right across the street.
Yo, man, I gotta say something too about that. If you guys don't start doing some shit about it, honestly, like, we're gonna start picking some shit up ourselves and taking care of it ourselves.
We have new drug dealers in the
I got a house full of kids. Nah.
We'll come to the mic.
Go ahead. I can come right here and say what I got to. I'm a community member as well.
We understand that.
I see nothing in this community as well as she does that you guys ain't doing jack shit about.
We understand.
Yeah, I understand how busy people are too. Loans and everything else. We got a goddamn civil issue going on right here in our community.
We understand.
All right.
We have your teammate. We care just like you. We are as passionate as you are.
Then I want to see some goddamn fire.
We have new drug dealers in the community. Some that Coke is a big thing that's going on right now. That it's coming into our community from tribal members, and that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh.
But we do have it regularly coming in now, and I'm concerned.
We're aware. Kim, what did you say it was?
We have Coke coming into our community on a regular basis, which is also mixed with meth.
We are aware.
When I was in ICW, as we tested the people, they already knew back then as well, that they were cutting it with it, as well as. But I just feel with it all being down at the lower part, why is the blinds eye going on? And I don't wanna sit here and I want us to start helping these people, you know?
We want the same thing, Kim.
I know.
To assume that we don't or that we are not is not a safe assumption. We want the
I'm
same
not
thing.
saying
We
that.
live
I
here
just-
too. We want that. We want our law enforcement to have good active investigations. We want our community to come forward if they're seeing things and share those facts and observations with people. Rumors and just slander of people is not helpful to investigations. We need people to be comfortable reporting that.
2 months ago, I gave
police.
you her video footage and she still hasn't. done anything.
Excellent.
No, she's worthless. Sorry. When I worked for ICW, you know what she did? And that's why I have issues with her. When I would go up to a home, there would be 3 little cops behind me, and it was disrespectful to that
If
family.
you have personnel issues, you can bring those forward to the administration, because
As a
personnel
cop,
issues.
she should be in front of us, not behind us. That's what she would do.
Sorry, Carolyn, you called up earlier. Apologies. Pardon? We called up elders first, so apologies.
Oh, that's okay, just a community. There's just a couple things I want to say. I lived in a time, I lived at 68, I was born in 1957. I lived in a time that I'm sure a lot of your parents did. When our water was clean, we got it from the tap, our water was pure, it was cold, there was nothing we had to be worried about. So, and it was all fresh. And so when I hear about the water today, you know, and we all notice that there's a difference, but I also realize that the amount of families that we have a lot of people that came home. We have a lot of people that came home and they had to do something. We also have the pipe in the water. You know, so there's a lot of different concerns and there's a lot of things that go along with that. And so when we talk about the water, just keep on doing what you're doing, Shania, to make sure that it's safe. And when we talk about E. coli, I thought that I read, though, that down in the lake, that we shouldn't put our children, let our children go in because there's E. coli there. So then that's
Not that it's been confirmed through my office that
Okay.
we've had a top of E. coli yet this season, but we definitely alert the community via newsletter, Facebook feed. We have signage at
Okay.
the location.
we do.
But yeah, we will definitely make sure that that's something that's widely blasted if and when that happens.
Thank you. And I know that there's quite a few that go to Raspberry and go to Ashland to get their artesian water. I know that that's what's safe for them, so they go there to get that. The other thing I want to comment on is, you know, as being a mom that lost her son to alcohol and lost her daughter to fentanyl, my 2 gifts. I know what it's like, you know, and I don't really, I really don't talk up about that, except to somebody. I really don't say a lot about that. And the reason is because my daughter was in the cities when that crap followed her into that safe house. And she took that one lethal dose. But I know prior to that she was home. I know that she was home a week and a half before that. So I don't know where it came from, you know, I don't know that. But my son with the alcohol, it was all around him. He bought it, you know, so. And now I have to make that choice to pray and to talk with them, to talk to Creator, because sometimes it's really overbearing, but I can manage it. But we have our clan system. We have our clan system in place. We know our clans. We know our teachings on our clans. We know that they are the Muckle. We know they're the protectors, and they're the ones to guard us, to be guardians. And so our men are our protectors. Our men are protectors for our children. We don't want to see our children go and walk in to step on that dirty needle or whatever. We know that. So I think it takes, you know, it will take the community. It will take the community to stand up and to say that. But I really appreciate, Nick, what you said, because we know that happened so many years ago when the men got together and they went around and they stood up for that. And we were there too as women to support them. So there's, we look at our traditional teachings and we look at what's our traditional Anishinaabe teachings, and we look at the Western way on how things are happening. But we know embedded in us is our Anishinaabe teachings, and we know how to take care of that. We just found that bear. The bear had that plastic on its face, and we were able, you know, when we think about that little baby bear and how hard it must have been for that little baby bear to walk around, but it survived. We're survivors. We are survivors, you guys. We're survivors, and Trump is going to kick our butt if he, you know, he's starting to kick our butt. But remember, too, that before they put us on reservations, they took our identity, they told us to not dance, to not speak our language, to take our ceremonies. And what did we do? We went underground. We went underground with that. And then when we came back up, what did they do? They paid us to dance. They put us in little regalia, little costumes, and put us out there and had us dance so they could get money, right? That's what happened. And so again, today, when we look at what's happening today, everything is going to be all over again. But we know who we are and where we come from. We know how to take care of that. And I think that, you know, I have to have faith that we will take care and we'll take care of our own, because we know how to do that, right? And I know, so I just want to say that much. You know, there's as much as a homeless, as much there is homeless. Gretchen, I applaud you. I applaud you for your letter that you put out there. I applaud you because I know in your heart that you wanted to do so much for our people. And I know that within your position you were confined, maybe. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. But I really do appreciate that you said that, because that's culture that's embedded. That's Anishinaabe culture that's embedded in you. And we have that in your surface, your spirit. Your spirit came to life. It came to life, and you know where you're going and what you're going to do. And I think that some of us all know that, because we can say that, but we don't really know that. We don't really know that. We can say it as much as we can. But again, using our mind and our heart, when we look at the homeless, when we look at the drug addicts, when we see our little kids running around because their parents are out drinking, we know, you know, we know, and sometimes we don't want to do something, but we got to do it because it's the right thing to do. And so we just continue doing that and stay focused, positive, and determined, and knowing that Creator loves us, and to use ourselves too as that tool, as to be that tool from Creator, because we all have those gifts. We all have gifts if you want to use them. Creator gave us we all have a gift. And when you're ready to stand up and step out and accept that, then I think so. But you know what? I'm not getting any younger. I've already had 4 brothers that passed. And I want to make sure that when I pass, when I leave, that my children, my grandchildren, that they have something where they're going to be standing up tall. And I'll do the best I can to teach them that too. But I also depend on all of you. I don't know, what you need.
I'd like to say one thing. I know that I sit up here as a council member, but I want you to know I sit up here as a father. I grew up with alcoholism and drugs in my family. And I have a son, Marshall, who will forever be a recovering addict, and I pray for him every day. When I first started, I'll guarantee you I was an enabler. I didn't know anything any better. But when I sit up here, I think of everybody, and I don't want anyone to have to suffer with drugs. And I can tell you that me as a council member, when I hear something about a drug user or anything, I tell. I don't want anyone to die, anyone to suffer, no matter who we are, who you are. And
you guys
it's tough, and we are saying something. You can't go against an investigation and wreck everything. There is always something going on. I just want to let you know that from me, from David, that I care and I say something. And myself as a council member, we are doing what we can. We are pushing to have something happen.
May I say something?
But I'm not done yet. But I just wanted to let you know that for me, that's how I am with it. Glitch.
So I want to comment on that, because I do recall Joanne
If you want to
Peterson.
speak, come up to the microphone, please.
Joanne Peterson this past winter had to have a person removed off of her land lease because he was posed as a threat to our community and a threat as a known drug user also. The tribal council took action, and I think it happened in a day where that gentleman was removed. So we would like to think that the council has the same power to do that when we see these things happening in our community with other people that are doing harm to our people. To continue to take time to let that devastation impact our membership and to see more death is not okay. And we do know that you must have the power because it was done before.
So with the water, I looked at the national average is $73 a month. So I'm not exactly sure what ours is, like 70 or something, and you don't pay it for a couple of months, but it's somewhere around there, so that's about right. But the water, I do remember our water being a lot better, being younger, and I buy a lot of bottled water now, because in the community I always hear rumors about water, and I don't know if it's true or not, whether it's good or not, but like she was saying, the E. coli, it actually comes from geese. You can come from geese, and geese, down at the casino are attributed to that. But, now, moving on, I was wondering if there's policies in regards to getting as-bills, right, Cliff? Would be after a building's built, you can get like the prints, where stuff is, stuff like that. You guys know Nagamo sort of? Yep. If you can do that, that's not my question, that was a question from my brother Richard. He asked me to ask that, so.
Is it rhetoric because he has been an as-built or subcontractor? Or what is the purpose of the question?
So if, say you, say 10, 20 years down the line, you guys are putting out for, fixing the water lines or whatever, they can request those and see where so when you build something, say like you built this, right? And it says the water line comes in right behind you guys. Mm-hmm. During the process of building this, you might have put in a, so then the as-built actually says where it is put. Like utilities, stuff like that, so it helps later on for contractors or what. I mean, that's something that like you can do with people currently or whatever. And I don't know if you guys can answer that. I'm just wondering about that. So, and then I wanted to say, someone fire department, so I was wondering, being on the fire department, and I know Doug Jennings, I don't know if he's here, but he was part of fire somewhere, not here, but he works for the tribe now, but does Redcliffe get anybody from fire involved to look over things when they build new buildings, like, for instance, we have an air intake right by a gas line out the back, right here. That's not really, I mean, it's okay, I mean, it's just not really a good idea to put the air intake right next to the gas line. So, if you talk to like Redcliffe, or a Brick of Fire, somebody from there could actually, when the plans have been built, look at that stuff and be like, yeah, no, we don't want that. So if we came here, if there's a fire, we can put our truck and pump it into the sprinkler thing and pump the pressure and add water into the system to help suppress the fire. And it'd be nice if it was up here, but it's way back there. Not a huge deal, we have holes, but you can place that stuff better. Just something I was wondering. And that was that stuff. And then I requested a social media policy. So I wanted to go over this a little, and I would like you guys to redo it or something. That's freaking terrible, but this. So when I read it, I was kind of bored that this came on the record. You know, if you replace it, and I don't want to read word for word here. I don't want to take up the time of everybody here, but I do want to kind of cover it real fast, go over it. But I want everybody to keep in mind when I say Redcliffe tried or replace that with a country's name or a company you may work for. And you know, would you work for that place or would you want to live in that country? You know, because it's like North Korea style right in here, and I'm not even kidding. So social media policy, communicate. Well, let me skip something here. So it says, do not post online anonymously using pseudonyms, false screen names. We believe in honesty and appropriate transparency. So do we, this is public. We believe that too. And down at the bottom here it says, Q, the tribe reserves the right to require that certain subjects are completely avoided and may require withdrawal or removal of certain posts that deem offensive or potentially injurious to demean to the tribe or its business enterprises. So absolutely anything, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's alarming because it's just kind of, it's a little crazy. So it says guidelines here designed to explain the parameters of permitted conduct. Remember that, I said permitted conduct, because there's no section in here that gives permitted conduct. So with regard to social media communication, the Redcliffe Tribe has determined the need to communicate its activities in public. Tribal membership through social media establishes the policy outline permitted and prohibited behaviors. And something I'm talking about, like I asked some questions of the council last time I was here, and people in the community have been talking to me, but no one wants to like, if they're just like, hey, you should check this out, you know, don't say my name, you know, I'm like, it's just kind of really odd. They seem really scared. I don't know if it's retaliation or just scared to lose a job. People shouldn't be scared like that. Okay. Tribe recognizes that employees engage in social media, inside, outside the workplace, needs to establish protocol and ensure the tribe's interests are protected. I understand that. Same principles and guidelines apply to employees in general, apply to activities online. However, due to the nature of the internet, more accountability is expected. It has definitions, but we'll go through that. Tribal social media, all posting tribal social media have written advanced by Recommendations tribal admin. That's legit. Go down to prohibited conduct. Releases confidential information. Makes sense. Not related to financial data, personal records, trade secrets. What that means. And I'm a fire inspector, and I went into somebody's building one time, and there was a fire extinguisher wasn't on. I had to take a picture, and it was business, and he goes, yeah, you can't take a picture of that. Why? He goes, well, there's trade secrets. Okay, can you move the trade secrets so I can get a picture of this? And he let me take a picture, so I don't know. It was just kind of something I was doing. Information, stranded patient records, blah, 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 or any information that has not publicly been released. So, absolutely not been publicly released. Now, B, unduly negative and inflammatory comments. And this is really fun. While the tribe is mindful of its employees' free speech rights, in the interest of maintaining a positive work environment, employees are prohibited from disparaging the efforts of the tribe. I mean, that's like directly in conflict with free speech. I mean, you should be able to talk about your government and say, I mean, you can't work for the federal government or anybody else. You should be able to talk, I mean, not say personal stuff, but you should be able to talk about the government. And later on in this thing here, it'll say even after you're fired. So, violation of law, blah, 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 skip that. Guidelines for online conduct, so not really permitted stuff. Be helpful and supportive even at work. Each individual is responsible for what they post online, even while not at work. Okay. Make it clear that word stops are yours and not your employer's. So why are we policing their important thing, you are legally liable for anything you write and present online. Then why are you policing people's free speech? You're not engaged in that. Slurs, obscenities, that's fine. You're not posted online, I read that earlier. The tribe asking for honesty and transparency, but I don't think they're getting it back. I don't want people to talk about the tribe or question anything. And it even says on here, things have to be avoided and not talked about unless the tribe releases it. So that's also kind of a problem with us. How do we find anything out if only the tribe releases the things it wants to release? Right? Yeah. All right, here. I have my page also. And then, I'm read the employee handbook of the tribe, which I'm going to try to get that too, because I want to read that. Fully understand, accept guidelines, policies set forth in the handbook. Agree that the handbook supersedes, avoids any agreements, oral, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip all that, because I actually didn't really want to read. Next, I understand confidentiality is a major governing principle of tribe's work environment, and that all information which is not generally known or readily ascertainable by the general public through proper means. Meaning, we can't ask things like, the way I interpret that is like how people can ask the government in Maple County about things because it's ascertainable by the general public. We can't do that, so we're kind of in the dark about everything. I'm aware that during the course of my employment, confidential information will be made available to me, other related information. Understand that this information is critical to the success of the tribe. And I understand that, but it sounds really North Korean. That the tribe must not be disseminated or used outside of my employment, whether voluntary or involuntary, in the event of termination of employment, whether voluntary or involuntary, I agree to not use the information to disseminate to any individual entity. Which, whatever. And then this is the part that I was kind of like, weird, and the lawyers going to really talk about that. I hear, and it says at the end here, in bold, I hereby irrevocably consent to jurisdiction of the tribal court, right to tribal court in connection to any dispute claim raised, course of my employment, right to a band with Lake Spirit Chippewa. So, do we get like due process through that court? Because it's the regular court?
That's what a court provides you with, is a notice, an opportunity to be heard in a forum and have your dispute heard in. The language that you referenced, generally speaking, involves non-members of the band who are employed by the tribe, who might not otherwise be subject to the jurisdiction of your tribal court, or there might be some question or argument that could be made without a clear waiver that they somehow aren't bound by your own tribal court. And so when people work here, in connection with any employment dispute, they're subject to your tribal court's jurisdiction. That's an exercise of the tribe's sovereignty to resolve disputes within the tribal forum.
Okay, so then my next question is, we don't have three forms of government like the U.S. does. Executive branch, like the president, which would be the tribal council leader, kind of. Legislative branch, which is Congress, which would be you guys. And the judicial branch, which would be the court. Are they above them or below them?
They operate separately.
The court is subject to the whims of the tribal council, ultimately. The court is a creature of the tribal council. And we could have a very long, we could have a college course on this.
I'm a nerd. I'm a
law school course on this. I understand that you're interested, and I can appreciate that. That's great. Unfortunately, the tribal council has a large agenda to get through. So I'm going to defer to them.
Oh, I understand. I'm not trying to take the time. I'm just here to ask questions, and I'm trying to be swift. I have other questions that I'm not asking. So if they have more power than the courts do, you guys can overrule them, essentially.
The court is a creature of delegated authority. They have now delegated to the court the authority to hear disputes. If they wanted to, ultimately, could they dissolve the court and say that the tribal council is going to hear all the disputes? At one time, that's the way it was. Prior to 1978, the court was established. Prior to that time, all disputes, employment, otherwise, were held by the heard by the tribal council. But they've now established the court. That's the creature of delegated authority. And now the court resolves disputes that prior to the court, the council would.
Well, my thing is checks and balances. If they have ultimate power, do you get actual due process through the court? Like, you know, when you solve this, but we don't have to answer that question.
Yeah, we can have all these academic discussions, but quite honestly, I defer to council on moving the business of their agenda along.
Okay. So I did some research. I just wanted to kind of like figure this stuff out. It says, you know, well, the tribe mindful employees free speech rights, so that's indicating we do have free speech. I'm assuming. I went and looked at the 1968 Indian Civil Rights Act, and we do have all the rights that an American citizen does through the Bill of Rights through 1968 Act. And I think this should be sent to the court and redecided and put in better language than this. I think this is terrible language. I just want to say to tribal council.
I appreciate that.
You guys ready?
Kirby, if you would like to provide any of your ideas or feedback in writing to the administration, you're fully welcome to do that. You're welcome to give your feedback anytime. We appreciate and welcome that. So don't feel like it's unheard, or because I can't exactly probably keep up with the way that you're reading through and understanding that.
Yep,
but you're welcome to provide that feedback to us. And
yeah, I just want to help. This is my second tribal council meeting. I came here because I was talking to someone, we were arguing back and forth. And all right, I'll show you, you know, so that's why I'm here. But it is interesting, and I would like to help for our community as a whole, and have a better place when I leave this world for my kids. Leave them in a better place than I was.
we all share your goal, Kurt.
Yep.
We do.
I believe that. Thank you guys for hearing me out.
Is there anyone else that would like to give community comment? Billy?
Hello. I'm here today, in regards to an email that I sent all of you sitting from School 81 in regards to my job.
If you have a personnel grievance, we can move into executive council or executive session if council would like to hear it. If not, it's all at your discretion what you want to share, but we're not obliged to talk about personnel matters in front of the general public.
Well, I mean, it's been a week since anybody has contacted me about it, so I mean, what would be the next step?
LW grievance procedure? You're referring, I assume, to LW?
Yes. To be let go after higher management told me I could go home. And I asked to set up a meeting there. All I got was a phone call and no meeting. And then I emailed all of you and I'd like to hear anything.
I'm not aware of the situation regardless, but we can follow up with LW management. That's what we can do. LW employees are not tribal employees, so the council is not involved in the grievance procedure.
Okay, but if the GM is not following procedures that are in handbooks and people are being let go for being told they can go home, and if he's not going by the handbook, then would you all not be the next people that I contact?
The administration. They are the direct supervisors of the GM. Is there anyone else that would like to provide community comment? If not, we'll move on to the TNR youth presentations.
No, I'll bring it into the front.
He said he heard me.
And then if you want to pull that closer.
We're going to stop in Islands and
I'm just curious.
Are we ready?
We're missing one in the
I'm so sorry, we have one in the restroom still, and he's been requested that. Again. Sending, so sorry.
nature call, you can't help it.
I feel. You guys can, yeah.
Anybody want to put me on?
Well, we switched. Apologies for the wait, everyone. But I'm Genevieve. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the wildlife specialist, and I am supervisor for these young gentlemen here. This is part of our Treating Natural Resources Summer Youth Internship Program. So each year, Treating Natural Resources hires young tribal members and gets them in the field to learn about fisheries, wildlife, and a ton of other work that we all do in TNR. So this is a summary of the work that we've done for their 7 weeks with us, and they're just going to share some slides with y'all as part of their work requirement. So, all right, let's
Day one, we swapped logs, branches, and sticks. We talked about what Huinker would do for work day 2, we made bar things for anchors to put in the lake. We went in the mall icon to collect 20, what from each star? What is it? Day 3, we went to the Red EMS building to help with the rabies thing there. Then we learned how to tie some really cool knots. Day 4, we went camping out in Russell. We clipped fish after. What was that? What is? It's, I don't know, I think it's for identification. Yeah. Wait, no, this is my section. I gotta do this. It's my section. It's my section.
Next slide.
Oh, shoot. Day 1, we went out with the wardens for safety patrol, and it was cool. Zach and I were talking about fishing and bird calls. Then we drove through treacherous terrain, which we met a very rude tree who was blocking the way. We also poured some green stuff. I'm not sure what it was called, but I think it's called alfalfa. But PBS Wisconsin came by and hung out recorded us. And I still don't know why. Also, the breaker exploded too. Day 2, we cut down this huge ash tree to to make a acrostic. Then we went to Bayfield School to make a 6. There was also some venison tacos. Also, I was documenting some corvids I met at the school. Day 3, this day I was working the hatchery a lot. I clipped 1,003 fins off some nice looking brook trout. Lance had me fill up air and some lawnmower tires. I felt very powerful. Then Ron and Lance helped me stack some wood. I stacked maybe 2 cords of wood from my point of view. Day 4. On this day, we went to finish my super awesome, beautiful acrostic. I was super into it until I had to tie the net. After I made my acrostic, I celebrated and took a picture with it, and yes, I visited my crows again and probably think I'm crazy.
Day 1, Jose, Sean, and I went to check water quality at the Sand River and Sand River mouth. After we went to the Ashland lab and delivered the water samples, we got lunch at McDonald's and ate at the park. Day 2, today Sean, Jose, and I went to Raspberry Campground. When we got there, I went to play lacrosse, then went fishing for 2 hours. After that, I went to play lacrosse for a couple of hours until we left. Today, I'm just going to start from we went to Raspberry Campground. We got there, Sean found a muskie, and I went to play lacrosse. Then we went fishing for a couple of hours. When we got back, I went to Ron's campsite and chilled with Oak until Obama wanted to play moccasin game, and I stayed there with my dad after. Today, we went to Raspberry. When we got there, I went to Ron's campsite and we were chilling until Ron woke up. Then we had breakfast. After breakfast, I played lacrosse with Obama until lunch. Then we went swimming, as in me, Ogama, and when we got back, I had to go back to work. So we did our journal and I got brought back to the camp.
Week 4. Day 1, we went to Chicago Creek to go backpack shocking for some wild brook trout. The backpack was not working, and safe to say, Robbie and Lance were not happy. After we did that, we clipped some fins for an hour, and went to go pick up a broken chair at Frog Bay. Safe to say, again, those bugs were practically a paparazzi, biting me. I was very sick of those bugs. Day 2, today was exhausting. We walked 3 miles with Jake, the plant guy. It was 80 degrees outside and I became very tired, but Mom didn't raise my voice and I pushed through. Good. We then went to NAD to fillet 12 pounds of walleye for some fish tacos. I really liked it. We didn't get any though. 22. Day 3 was, I mean, I liked day 3, but first Ashley took me, Jose, and Nicholas to a long healing circle talk, I think, with before 1 mile. After we walked our 1 mile with Ashley, we went some sampling stuff with Robbie. It was pretty interesting too. Day 4, we went bird surveying. Yay! I had fun hearing those nice songbirds.
Week 5, day 1. Today, Sean and I went to set nets at Raspberry River. When we got done with that, we had to put up nets at the wall. We had to put up nets at the walleye ponds. After that, we ate lunch. Then we brought some logs to Chippewa. Today, Sean and I went to get the nets that we set at Raspberry River. We caught a turtle in the net, and after that, we ate lunch. And Robbie fried fish, and we went to the bay for Lafernier. Today, Jose was there and Sean, and we went to the visitor center and did a scavenger hunt, and then watched a movie about fires. When that was done, we went to McDonald's for lunch, and then when lunch was over, it started to rain, so we had to tie rope to anchors, and a couple of minutes, and then watched a couple of minutes of a wolf documentary for half an hour. Day 4, today we did a bird count survey at Palm Bay after hiking. When we were done with that, we tied ropes and put bricks in the back of the truck and then had lunch. After that, we went to the cultural center.
Can we go back to day 3?
All of it?
Yeah, I'm wondering what movie you guys watched.
Oh, we watched a movie at the visitor center about the fire stuff. What else is to do?
Day 1, we went on canoes with Environmental to get rice leaf samples. We did the same thing after lunch though. Day 2, we went with Environmental to do blood sampling in the creek. Clayton Creek by the, ATV trail. But, no. We did some air quality testing up on the roof of the clinic too. And day 3, we went with Environmental for bird watching and hiking. We worked on our presentations after. Day 4, we went with Environmental behind the clinic to look for places to put solar panels, and also worked with compasses too. After that, we went back to the office and worked on our presentations again. Ooh.
Gentlemen, I loved your presentation. One thing that I would offer you to feel confident when you start is to introduce yourselves. I do not know your name, if you could.
What?
Can you tell us your name and maybe how old you are or what grade you're in?
My name is Sean Gordon Shelley. I'm 14 years old and I'm going to 9th grade.
I'm Nicholas Richard Perry. I'm 13 years old and I'm going into 8th grade.
Thank you.
I have a question. When you were doing that netting, did you find any invasive species?
No, from what I could remember, but we did catch very big rocks.
All right. Oh, thank you.
Great job,
Thank
boy.
you.
Someone forgot their phone on the desk. Congrats, guys. We're gonna continue along on our agenda this evening. Moving to item 10 on the agenda, Ikwewag, Nagamo, Ikwewag, the hand drum group. And we have a number of representatives I see present in the audience. Please feel free, whoever would like to come up to the microphone. We are ready. Dina, come.
Usually I'm just going to talk for a couple of minutes while the group congregates. By some time.
Bring the microphone right back there with you. It's mobile. Pass it right down the line.
There was only room for 3 of our names on a council packet form, but as you can tell, we've got a lot more than that in our group, and I will defer to my elders to speak, and I can fill in if there's any questions.
Council does have a copy of the materials as well that you prepared, and thank you for all of that information and details.
Kathy, do you have the right button?
Pujo, Megazine Benesek and Indigenicas, Mishwalikan and Chippewa, Megazine and Dode, and I am one of the members of the drum group. Bonjour, Wawashkan, Gokee, Nindigo, Wawashke, e.ECC, Nindigo, Ajijak, and Dode, Nindigo, Chima, and Nindigo, and Dode. I'm also a member of the Hanson group.
Bonjour, I'm Megazine Indigenicas, Megazine and Dode, Gamispatakam, and Dunbar, and Gokee, and also a member of the Hanson group.
And everyone else in the front row. Beautiful. And second row.
I know. Okay, so as you may know, our handle group, Ikwewag, Nagamo, Ikwewag, has a really exciting opportunity. We have been invited to sing at the many winters gathering of elders in the Los Angeles area in California. We are super excited. We have to pay our own way, so we are currently fundraising for our trip. There will be about 14 or 15 of us going. And most of us are the tribal members or the community members. We meet usually at the library and sing together once a week. And so our request for council today has 2 parts. Our first request, we would like either a resolution or a letter of support that we can share with potential donors as we continue with our fundraising efforts. We're thinking of tribal programs and departments who may be more likely to support in that way if we have the blessing of the council members. And our second ask, if funds are available, is matching of some of our fundraising dollars. And the number that was put out there was up to 5,000, but I would leave that up to you all to determine an amount that seems reasonable.
How much have you raised so far?
About $2,000 so far.
And our fundraising campaign has just started. We do have a number of food sales. We will have some raffles, outside of our bingo, which will be Saturday, September 13th. And which I've already asked him to do the call. What?
But the big fundraiser is going to be the bingo.
Yeah.
So the other thing that we're going to be gone from
October 8th
to the 13th. And on those days that we're there, we have been asked to do a presentation at a Native American Treatment Center for Addiction. So we'll be
in Ikwewag. And then we're also, the Tungla tribe has invited us to attend a full moon ceremony. They're sponsoring it for us to come and share our songs at the full moon ceremony. So our days are going to be filled with interacting with other tribal members and other women. So.
Do you want to speak to the benefits that you have seen from your group and the creation and start and the participation and the growing efforts?
What have we done so far, or what are we doing?
To what you see as the benefits of the group, to your healing or to wellness, or just want to make that.
I can share.
I mean, I know my own observations, definitely, but I think in general it would be good for the leadership to hear from you.
So one of the things that when we were approached to gather as women was the teachings that we received about our purpose. Like we're not just a group of singers. That our purpose is that when we lift these songs up there in prayer for our communities and our families. And so each time that we sing a song, they carry the responsibility to share what that song is for and why we sing it and for who we sing it for. So it's, each song is a prayer for community members and for our families for healing. I can personally tell you, observing that I see these women really embrace and connect to their drum, and they feel that power, which is in turn where I see them blossoming, where some of them that wasn't able to take lead cannot take lead in the song and present the story of the healing of the song. I've seen them attend gatherings of where it's inclusive, that it's not just the women who are coming to the drum group on a regular basis, but it's inclusive to include any woman that wants to come and learn. I've seen a lot of sharing of our teachings, which I think is helping us to be better human beings. We all come here with gifts, and that's what I see. We're also embracing our culture and carrying it forward. We also have 2 young members that have joined our hand drum group, 2 little girls who've been coming to practice on a regular basis, and to see them even take lead, you know, that inspires us, because some of us are getting older, and to see these young girls wanting to learn these songs and know those teachings and to participate really, for me, gives me hope that our culture will still be and will grow.
Bonjour, je suis Catholique et je suis class. Hello, my name is Elise Kuczynski, and I'd like to share my personal story of joining Drum Group. I have a lot of physical disabilities. I'm disabled, and I was seeking healing, and to do that I had to heal my mind, body, and soul. And my beliefs through this drum, I have been physically healed by healing mentally and emotionally. And not only that, I was gifted my first drum. When I was gifted that drum, it was called the Family Tree Drum. The Tree of Life Drum, excuse me. It's about family and connection and keeping workers together. I'm the matriarch, what's left of my family. And 2 days after receiving that drum, my sister called me after treatment, and she didn't want to be on the streets and live that lifestyle anymore. So that connection to that drum, to this group, to the healing that they provided and that we do, is a true testament to me and my family. If I can heal myself,
I can hit this. And, you know, like she said, those two young ones picking up the drum. Just the other day when I was listening to my songs and practicing, my nephew picked up the rattle and was sitting there with me shaking the rattle. So it's generational. We are teaching the next ones, our next leaders. So me good. I get very emotional. Thank you for your time.
I had an opportunity to watch Reese. We know her dad is Martin Andrews, and her mom has passed and went home. She lives and she's living, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's beautiful, and I'm not going to go. I'm staying down, but I want to support Elisa all I can. She deserves to participate with the women's group as this young lady, and she deserves to get something a little bit back now herself. And I say that humbly. So I'm going to help them. That's what I do. I want to make turkey. I was so excited. I can't do that. But they're going to do the fundraising, the food, and so they had it all night. So can I make a turkey? So I'm going to get 2 25-pound turkeys. And I'm making them home. I'm going to be old school like my mom did. And as I said, my mom and Paige are probably chuckling at that one. But I think they do a wonderful job. They do a wonderful job. And you know what? It's not only what they do like for themselves, because they live the 7 teachings daily. The 7 grandfather teachings, they live them daily. So I would say if you can, yeah.
Ladies, it fills my heart to see you all sitting there, and it, you know, the 7 generations down the line, right? I'm not going to age some of you, but I think that conservatively we could say, even right in front of me, we might have 3 generations already, right? And now we have little ones picking up that are wanting to follow in the footsteps. And as far as I know, this hasn't been done up in the Redcliffe area. And so my heart goes with you guys on everything that you do, and much appreciated for coming up in front of us, and we'll see what can happen.
I want to applaud that young lady, you know, your dad was my chum, and your father played ball with Raya, you know. So I'm getting older and I don't remember everyone's doing the nest, but I remember some of you. Thank you.
I'll do the coffee while people shuffle around again. I just want to say, Ikwewag, thank you for listening, and also just from my perspective, we just started this group a few months ago, and it's really telling how much it's been needed in this community based on how many times we've been asked to sing in different places, going from making our grounds at the end of March, beginning of April, to having a gig every single week in the month of May, which was really exciting, a little bit busy. And just like the intergenerational connections and healing have been really special to witness. And so everyone's blossoming and going from like not just one person I'm talking about, but multiple people in the group going from, oh, I'm too nervous, like I want to make a drum but I can't sing in front of other people, to those folks like really coming out of their shells and taking the lead and just being really awesome rock star. So Ikwewag, you know.
I just want to say that I personally have a connection to this group, not only in terms of relatives, but you know, Linda and I are good friends, and she says she ages, but I don't think she does. At the camp, we have the Gold Star family camp in honor of Linda's son John, and you guys came down and sang for the camp for our guests, and that was one of the top comments I heard was you all singing, and then our other cultural stuff. And you know, I just want to say I support you all. You know, I walked with you on the ski hill. I'm not going to walk up the side of it again next year. But you know, I can't say enough what you guys are doing. You really are
people are noticing, and I do really think they're making a difference.
I think there is consensus among the support for the group, and that has been obvious through the outshowing of the support from our community thus far, because you have had previous fundraisers as well, prior to this commitment to this invitation to California, which have been really, really fruitful. So I think that the group is discussing whether or not our direction should be to the administration, to Alana, to support the use of tribal programs and resources that may not be available, and then to revisit if any tribal matching resources would be needed. I don't know if we need council action, but we can definitely take directive at the administration to have program support and collaborate on the needs presented. Is there any objection from council to us providing that?
No objection, good luck.
So I don't think there's council action, but there's council unanimous support in providing the resources and collaboration among the tribal programs of what may fall within this. That's why I think it was important for everyone to hear about the benefits and how those connect back to our system of care, whether that come organically from a group of individuals in our community that are doing such amazing peer support work and just other efforts. And that is just really beautiful. It's been beautiful to watch you gals all this last few months. I'm so excited for you two to go to California.
And I'd like to say, come back and check in with us in about a month. Let us know where you're at with your fundraising.
After the bingo.
Yeah, after the bingo, come back and give us an update, and I'm sure council will help any way we can.
We wish you guys doing all the hard work and all the effort. All right, folks. David? We are going to move on the agenda to item 11. We have a business permit application for consideration from our legal department.
Any council, this is a business application from Native Expressions Grown Organic Incorporated. It's submitted by Gretchen Lewis back in June. We had a little bit of an educational discussion about the organization formalities, and all got squared away, so the business permit application is now in order to restore their corporation to good standing in the state of Wisconsin. The 501c3 nonprofit status is confirmed as well, so everything appears to be good to go. They had a previous home use business PAC application approved years ago, so that's not an issue. Although they do have permission from the housing authority to conduct business out of the home. So invite your consideration for approval.
Any questions, counsel, for legal? I think our only question last time was the standing of the 501c3, but now that we see that's been restored as of July 22nd, 2025, I don't know that we have any reason to not consider.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the business permit for Native Expressions Drum and Dance Troupe. Second.
We have a motion by Gokee and a second by David. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you, Ray, for your diligence. Item 12 on our agenda this evening, I think, is a typo. And it's supposed to say request for resolution, but it says referendum for support and acknowledgement of support to Gokee and Gretchen Morris. Council has a copy of your memo addressed July 1, 2025 in our packet from Secretary Butch. We have no other documentation. This was tabled back in July, asking for further information regarding to the details of the request. We have not received anything.
It was sent to Secretary by Kimberly Burrow.
I sent you the full application for it and also pointed out in my memo, what section on it as well.
Council didn't receive it yet, so it's an administrative error. If they would like to consider it, or they can table consideration or have any other action that they choose.
So Kim did send him the information. I'm just going to go over what we're seeking. We're just seeking a letter, and we have them written, and we can send them an email, because I don't think we need a resolution or anything like that. We just need to inform you that we're doing this, and of course would appreciate your blessings. So one is for Forest County Potawatomi Foundation. Our letter states the Red Cliff Band Tribal Council, and this is if you choose to sign this, and the Red Cliff Band of Lake Spirit Chippewa Indian support Native expressions drum and dance troop grant application submitted to Forest County Potawatomi Foundation. Red Cliff Band supports Native expressions drum and dance troop commitment to preservation of Anishinaabe language, culture, song, and dance. The Red Cliff Band acknowledges and supports Native expression drum and dance troop initiatives aimed to enhance the lives of Indigenous children and families, in addition to fostering traditional life pathways to strengthen cultural identity and build the resilience of the next generation through intergenerational knowledge and teachings. And then if you so choose, the Red Cliff Tribal Council and the band express their support for the application for Native Expressions Drum and Dance Troupe and the organization's intention to uplift the voices and traditions of tribal children, youth, and families. So this one is specific to Forest County Potawatomi, and we're asking for council to support that. This is
what is the request to Forest County Potawatomi for?
What are we going to be requesting?
What is the request for?
It's for personnel, for supplies, for different programming. And Kim sent that to Butch, so you should be able to see the graph.
Can you just summarize for us what it is you're asking for? $1,000, $500,000?
We're asking for your support, and
so no, you're not willing to share that information.
$85,000 for grant for increasing grant capacity in various areas, and you can go ahead and look at the grant application.
Is the letter required by Forest County?
They're asking us to go to leadership to get their support.
I have additional question.
Sure.
Is the $85,000 to fund your 2 personal positions within Native Expressions?
No, to fund positions, to grow our capacity. So we have other people that we want to hire on for song, dance, language, culture. It wouldn't be us, except with the exception of Kim, who would continue on as grant writing. I am just there doing everything. 100% volunteer, actually. So no payment for me. I do it on behalf of the children and families. Same with this one. It's not for my wages. It's to uplift our relatives here in Red Cliff and to increase capacity. This one is for a building. It's for Chakopee. You can choose to sign the letter or not. It's the same type of dialogue, except for this one we'll be looking at buildings
They are collapsible buildings as well that can be moved.
Yeah.
So we're not stuck in one area if
something occurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking at with them, and of course we will follow their grant application requirements to see if we would meet the criteria, and if we don't, then we'll continue to try for the future. We'll be working with the tribal member who has land themselves, and that's what we're looking at to place the buildings upon. Again, that application is within what we've sent to Butch, what we're looking at.
Which can't locate what was sent to him. What is the amount that you're asking for from Shakopee?
They're both 86,000.
So they're both 86, not 85,000.
They're both 86.
I'm just wondering, because I pulled up all my email correspondence, could that by chance have been sent to my regular email, my work email, rather than my secretary?
No, I sent it all to the secretary. So what I gave you was the actual, we are not, I'll clarify too, we do not need a letter for Forest County, Potawatomi. Their portal changed this last, when it was a requirement. They did it when COVID was going on to make sure that they knew what resources they had. We were also told why we didn't come to the following one is, we were also told from Shakopee that it wasn't needed, but it is now needed again through their portal. We had to drop one grant to wait for this meeting, and the new portal also has it in it as well now. So I don't know why they're skipping, why they're doing it. The last one didn't have it, this one has it, so I have no clue. But that's why I forwarded the whole entire application. It's the one that where I told you, I think it's number 8.
So is it you just need 86,000 or you need multiples of 86,000?
There's 2 of them. It's a matching grant that we're doing. One is wages, one is the buildings.
I just resent that to you, Butch.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And the majority of the time I have not also been on for wages as well. I have another program that pays for my wages for the child, or for
Native expression.
For native expressions. So. And we've always been that way. We have not, we've always hired out. We have, we're a second generation now of dancers. I have my daughter Nevaeh, we have Ozawa, there's a bunch of
Oh, yeah, a bunch too. So our original dance troupe began with, like Lindsay Brissette generation. That was the initial dance troupe, and so we're just looking for ongoing support to be able to support the work that we're doing. I've never been asked exactly what we're using our funds for. That's specific to the funding agency, so this is a little bit different for me. But basically, program capacity to hire our dance instructors. We have several people in the community that I've talked to. Some are younger, some are older, and we use stipends. We're also going to be doing some work, bringing in some champion hoop dancers to do some workshops, different things like that is what we'll be doing to enhance capacity for our youth. Regalia making, we'll be doing that again, getting kids more hoops, things like that, so that'll be in the capacity building grant. But most importantly, we want to be able to hire some people here in Redcliffe so they can keep uplifting this as we continue to grow it. And we know that we need our own space, we want our own space, and we know that we need something to travel with. The tribe has been really good about helping us out. We've used the Boys and Girls Club, we used the Youth Center bands, we've used other bands within the tribe over many years. And so we'd like to have that ourselves to be able to transport our kiddos around. So that's what we're looking for, is that support for that.
So right now you've got 1 employee, right?
Him is a paid employee.
Paid employee?
Yeah.
Who are your chaperones? Do you have enough chaperones for one?
We don't need chaperones right now. We are.
But when you go away with the troop,
we bring chaperones, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, we've had it where all the parents have come before. Every single parent has gone. We found funding to be able to support parents.
So you'll have that every time, you think, or not?
Well, everything is dependent upon what's occurring. Just like in a tribal program, you don't plan for it until it's occurring. If, let's say
I would plan to have chaperones, is what I'm getting at.
Well, Dave, I can tell you that if I was going somewhere out of town, I would have chaperones, and they would be the parents or a relative up. Last time that we traveled, and we traveled where? Washington, D.C. Oh, the ballet, how many were at that? There must have been about 6 or 7. Mostly it ends up being parents or grandmas, aunties. So we've never had a shortage of help. It takes a lot to get the kids ready. It takes a lot to get the hair done. It takes a lot to get the clothing pressed. Everybody everybody ready to go on stage, so it's a multitude of help, but that's always been supported by family or relatives. We've never had a problem.
Reading practice is also gonna be considered as well. We cannot do, the halftime anymore, but they want us to do family night, but because our grant, of the last thing that we didn't get approved last month, it's gonna push us off to the final next year's family night.
Yeah. So yeah, it's never been an issue, and that's something that we do very well with, so.
Council, letter of support is the request that is not required, as we just discussed with the last group in front of us, where the council did not take action but expressed its support. Is your decision to proceed as you see, and there are 2 requests in front of you, is my understanding of what's being discussed.
One's required and one's not. So the one for Shakopee is required, the one for Potawatomi is no longer required.
I guess I would have to prefer the legal about the letters, if issue or non-issue.
Well, whether or not to endorse their application is a decision for council to make. The legal implications are that, things go south, something happens, it potentially makes the tribe look bad. That's the long and the short of it.
And you can choose not to endorse it, we just need that in writing. They just told us to come either way, whichever the council chooses. If you choose not to, you can simply say that you don't endorse it, and they will take that also. We've already spoke with them. When do you need that by? When do you need that one by? In writing. And we need so that would be the Minnetonka Shakopee community. And I can add a line item here if you choose not to. I can send it into tribal leadership, whichever you choose.
I did send in letters and I did send in resolutions for both of them as well. So.
I haven't had time to review anything. I would ask that whatever the council is going to approve has legal review.
Okay, perfect. All right.
If they are so obliged to consider, if not, they can take action to just give support or not give support or just give verbal direction. That's their decision.
And this was also tabled on
July 7th.
I would have to make a motion not to support and then write a letter.
We have a motion by David. Is there a second? If not, the motion will die. And if there is no action by council,
we ask that you use one of the resolutions that I wrote up for each and every one of them. Those were given to him, they were given to council legal.
Did you sign
Legal
it?
advised that we don't use them and get a letter of support instead. So I kind of been here, there, everywhere, and it's time to make a decision,
I hear
Months have been
council,
passing by.
I hear council making a decision that they're not informed or ready to make a decision. So that's their role, is they can either not take action or they can take action. So we haven't been provided all the information regardless. So if they want to table it, that's up to them.
Well, I'm going to hear it, so whichever way they choose, I'm listening.
I will speak, I guess, on behalf of the silence of our council that they're not prepared to take action this evening.
Okay. So I'll put some other things together for you, so it's easier to digest, and then it's up to you either way, whichever you choose. I think we'll vote for the resolution then, so is that what you want?
Yep.
All right. Okay, English.
Thank you, Libby. Alyssa, you were very patient, and thank you for submitting such concise information on the Newman's Own grant for the $88,000 request to support farm operations. The council did take action on that, and we shared that when we came in open session. As the council is obliged to take action in executive session and then share what that was with regular session. And so item 14 will move to the, and I see your partners here, thank you guys, you were so patient, thank you so much. For the environmental department to enter into a conservation stewardship plan agreement with the NRCS. Come on up. And council does have a copy of all the materials that you provided. If you can maybe just introduce yourself. I mean, we know
that's on. Hi, I'm Michael Blunt. I'm with the University Natural Resources Conservation Service. And the Natural Resource Department, Environmental and Farm have done several projects with us in the past. And it's been working with Jessica, Shania, and Alyssa on some new opportunities with their conservation stewardship plan. And yeah.
Good evening, Council. I'm Jessica. I work for the Environmental Department and the Wetland Specialist there. I am seeking for approval for the Environmental Department to enter into a conservation stewardship program agreement with the NRCS. This agreement will be applied to complete some conservation actions. This includes receiving of wild rice in Raspberry River and Frog Creek, planting of trees in some ash forests in the Raspberry River watershed, and then installing bat boxes and wood duck boxes in Frog Bay National Park. In addition to payment for these conservation actions, there's also a base payment that is made for the tribe's trust land and fee land that the tribe owns that is undeveloped, and there's a calculation that's made for the acreage of the land that the tribe owns, and the land that is undeveloped will get payment, and then if the tribe chooses to develop some of this land, it can be taken out of this agreement in the next 5 years.
Council, we have no objections to the request and have endured some of these in the past and appreciated partnerships, and I know Shania was here, she'd be ranting and raving about all the wonderful opportunity that we've had working with our partners.
I'll make a motion to approve the Natural Resource Conservation Services Stewardship Program application.
We have a motion by Butch and a second by Angie. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Thank you very much for the work.
It's been a pleasure working with your departments, and yeah, they're really great to work with, and it's been a really good process. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll move to item 15, which is a request to enter conservation stewardship program agreement with NRCS for Alyssa. Also has a copy of all the materials you provided. Thank you.
Yep, so it's a similar situation as the environmental department. It does exist on a much smaller scale than the agreement with the environmental department, and includes various conservation practices such as cover cropping, crop rotation, planting of culturally significant shrubs. questions for Alyssa, Council? If not, we are seeking action to engage.
I'll make a motion to, it's number 15, yeah. Motion to approve entering into a conservation stewardship program agreement with NRCS.
Can we just note that it's with the farm?
With the farm.
Yeah. We have a motion by Butch, second by Nikki. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Thank you guys very much. Council took action to approve the grant request from TNR under item 16 for the white noise syndrome bat grant application, and took action as we noted when we came out of executive session and the contractor selection for elder apartments and the contractor selected for the amount, and also on item 18. We also took action on item 19, accepting the treasurer's balance sheet as presented. Is there anything under item 20 other?
I have something. Again, your public doesn't know what you're talking about. We had to try to share what we were able to with you, but it's not a two-way street, and I have no idea what white noise syndrome is. As a community member, I'm sitting here and I'm wanting to know what more.
We can share that information.
Cool.
We need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Laura, second by Angie. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carries.